Hey everybody, it's Ven, the Venrez Rock Band. How y'all doing today? We got a great show. We'll talk about that in a little bit coming up here in about 15 minutes. Let's give a shout out to Jason Ebert. He produces the show and he engineers the show. Better known on Kick.com as Como San, Comosans, if you want to follow him on Kick. He does a great job with the show. I line up the guests, he gets them all booked and set up on our streaming platform, and is producing the show in that manner, and he's always in the background engineering. We've got all kinds of, like a recording studio below the screen that you don't get to see, with monitoring the webcam and the sound, and the Spotify playlist playing Venrez music in the background. The new music video by Sip the Cup is released not too long ago, along with the single to radio on Tuesday, the 20th of February. It's over 170,000 views. We'll play it at the end of the show. Although, if you could go to YouTube and put in Sip the Cup by Venrez, Venrez, and watch the video there as well. Give it a like, thumbs up, got a nice comment that helps the band secure better tours and more tour support, things of that particular nature for our fans here and overseas who want to see us live on tour. Also, the first week, it was the fifth most added on the SMR chart and the number 3 most added song on Media Base. We did get the reports come out on Tuesday, and on week 2, we went from 104 on the chart to number 63, up 59 spins on the SMR. So I think we're a week or two from cracking that top 50, and we've never had a single that didn't chart higher than the top 20. In fact, our first radio single off the last record, Purgatory Awaits, Show Me, hit number 2. And the second radio single, Each and Every Day, hit 17. So I think Sip the Cup will probably do just as well, if not better. Yeah, we're competing with everybody, from Papa Roach to Bush and everybody in between on that. We have a great show coming up for you today. Somebody who I think is one of the best musicians on earth, Mr. Don Teschner. And I met Don back in like 1990, 1991. He was actually in the first version of the Venrez Rock Band. He never toured with us, although he was a big part of a lot of one-off shows we did that led to getting a tour. And played with Rod Stewart pretty much, I believe. He'll bring up more of that during the Hot Legs period. Don is an amazing musician who plays incredible guitar. He plays everything. He plays is incredible. He plays guitar, violin, viola, lap steel, dobro, just to mention a few instruments. And I've had occasions where we've done songs where I need some great violin, and he's always the one that I go to. He is all over our first ever record, Witch's Brew, which people don't really talk about. They talk about our second record, Sell the Lie, being our first record, but it really isn't. I think that's because with Witch's Brew, Jason and I had fired all the guys that were writing the music and the songs and started doing our own thing. And the Venrez sound really in that record, you know, all the songs are very different from each other. So it wasn't until the second record, Sell the Lie, that we started dialing in that Venrez sound, which I think reached its epic point with our third or fourth record, Children of the Drones. Uh, and you can hear the growth if you listen to Children of the Drones, Element 115, and then our last record, Purgatorial Rights, which is with Pavement Entertainment out of Chicago. And we have a new record coming out soon called Sip the Cup, and the title track, Sip the Cup, music videos on YouTube, the singles on radio, and it's on every streaming platform you can think of. So you can watch the music video on YouTube or go to your favorite streaming source, Deezer, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever it is. Listen to the new single. The record company is going to continue to drop singles from the record till we have a tour booked. So they won't be dropping the entire record until we have a tour. And I don't think we'll be touring until probably June. So I don't know if they're just going to keep pushing this first single and drop the second single with the record before the tour, or release the second single and drop a third single with the record before the tour. We'll have to see what God planned and how things go. And so we've got on. Hello, I've got to send a chat here. Hey Angie, welcome to the stream. Rock and roll, glad you're here. So we're going to start the interview off in a few minutes with Don. His partner Nina and him have a project which is quite phenomenal. And we'll bring her on after 10 or 15 minutes of what I want to talk to Don alone about. And love and seeing. You guys can't see him till we bring him on the show. I can see him, and I love all those guitars in the background. I guess you didn't sell every guitar you had, brother. Glad that you're doing well, because I know you can hear me, but you're not live on the show yet.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
I brought him up.
you, and you're on the show. Everybody, this is the Don Teschner.
Hello.
It's good to see your face, brother. You look good.
Well, I got to look over there to see you, unfortunately, but you look
Yeah,
great,
that's
man.
okay. That's okay. A little head turn. I see you got
Yeah.
the hat on, so you can't do the hair flip with your hand. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But,
you mean like I used to do when my hair was down here? Nina does that for me now.
yeah, there you go. We got that. We'll be bringing Nina on a little bit. Um,
Hey, is
Don
that
and
too
I
much
go.
reverb?
Pardon me?
Sorry. Is that too much reverb? I
No,
got
no,
reverb
you're
on for the
good. You're
music, but
good. You're
okay.
good.
Okay.
Everything's good. I met Don back in like 1990 or 1991. Um, and of course, I didn't really start the Venrez Rock Band until 2009. So
Wow.
Don was sharing some studio space with some musicians I was working with as in management. I finally got so frustrated at people I was managing not delivering that I just figured I'd just do it all myself. And Don actually was a part of the first version of Venrez. We played some shows together, and the first person who ever called me a rock star was him. We were on stage at the Roxy, and the show was going really well. We had some great
Really well.
players, I mean, we had Melvin.
Man, that was an awesome show.
Yeah, we had Melvin Brandon Jr. from the Dan Reed Network on bass at the time. I mean, the original version was a really good band, lots of good players, and
Yeah.
we were killing it at the Roxy, and Don was smiling, playing guitar, and he just came up near me. He goes, "You're a rock star." Yeah, so that which is a heck of a compliment. Uh, when for those of you who are not familiar with who Don Teschner you're going to be. So, Don, one of your biggest claim to fame as you were coming up the ladder as a musician was actually playing with Rod Stewart, correct?
That is correct.
And what was that, the
Yeah,
90s or what time period?
yeah, it was 90 to 96. So it was, I met you just after that, after the first tour. It was at the end of the first tour, which was 13 months. And I came back to town, hooked up with Tommy Johnson, because we had been jamming and stuff, and he introduced me to you.
No,
And
that
it was
was
a,
earlier, brother. That was like 1991. So you were still working with Rod Stewart
oh
whenever
yeah, no, it was after the first tour.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
And what instruments did you play with Rod Stewart? Tell us all a little
Um,
bit about it.
okay, fiddle, mandolin, lap steel, dobro, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, and harmonica.
Well, I didn't even
So it
know you
was,
played harmonica. There's an extra
yeah.
instrument to your repertoire.
Oh, there's like kind of, it's kind of
I love seeing all those
limited in a sense.
guitars. Yeah, I got a
Yeah,
rehearsal
it's
space downstairs. I'm upstairs in my office. I got my recording studio up here, and I got a whole ton of guitars and racks down there. Um,
yeah,
but I,
yeah.
I I love seeing those. So I remember a story you told me about that I'd like for you to
Uh-oh.
share with our audience, where you actually played a show with Rod Stewart in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil,
Oh,
with
good God.
over 1 million people outside
Not even
surrounding
close.
you. And
Not even
you told me
close.
you were afraid of your life. Why don't you tell us about that show?
Oh my. Well, yeah, it wasn't a million people. It was 4.6 million people in the live audience.
Whoa, yeah.
It was 5 miles of Copacabana Beach with PA systems and TV screens all the way down. And we were the opening act for the samba troops because down in Rio they have big samba contest each year, and the winners are like the biggest rock stars in the world to people of that whole area of all of Brazil.
Right.
And Brazil's a lot.
That's
And
really
Rio is
interesting
a
because Rod Stewart at that time was a huge star. I mean,
yeah, yeah. He had
I mean, he
big
was a
hits and
huge star in the 70s with small, first of all, breaking with Jeff Beck and then, the
yeah,
Small Faces.
yeah,
And I saw them in Hollywood back in the time period. And then I guess Bobby Lane on bass had some issues, back then. If you got busted with a joint or something, they wouldn't give you a visa to tour the USA. And so he had to swap him out.
yeah.
4.6 million
Million.
people. And I'm surprised you were
It's in
the
the
opening
Guinness.
act. But
It's
what's
in the
it like
Guinness
to be
Book of
on
World
stage?
Records.
What's it like to be on stage with 4 million people out there?
Well, here's the thing: playing in front of 10 people is really difficult. Playing in front of 10,000 people is really easy because there's this energy they give you.
Right,
And it's less of an individual thing.
right.
So, as you know, playing in front of a big audience, it's a lot easier than the smaller audience. But this big audience was of a different magnitude on all kinds of levels. Like what we call explosives, they call fireworks. So there were things flying through the air and exploding that were absolutely terrifying. So by the time I got to stage, I was shell shocked. And I'm not kidding. I was standing backstage warming up, and there was stuff coming over the backdrop. Yeah, I was behind the backdrop of the stage, and there was stuff coming over and exploding next to me that was like moving my clothes and my hair. It was powerful explosions. So I was like constantly like looking around for what's coming over. I don't want something to land on my violin and blow it up or something. So by the time I got on stage, I was like, I couldn't
It was
even
like
handle it,
post
control
traumatic
it.
stress syndrome from being in war, right?
It was pre-traumatic stress syndrome. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. And going in was okay. We were in a actually going in was kind of scary. we were in this van, and for some reason they had big clear glass windows, and we had to drive the van through the crowd, through on the sand, because it was a beach, and they saw Ian McLagan in there, and they thought it was Rod Stewart because he looks a lot like him, especially from a distance. So they started rocking the van. So going to the stage, the van was going,
Oh my
and people
God.
were screaming and banging on the windows. I was like, "What is this?" So we got in, and then the explosions and all that stuff. I mean, somebody caught on fire in front of us in the audience. It was crazy.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's like the largest gathering of a live audience for a live rock and roll show or something.
That really must have
And
been
then,
something. You told me,
oh,
as I remember, you were in fear for your life.
yeah, yeah, it was terrifying. The whole thing was terrifying. The music was just a thing we had to do real quick and then get back. It was, but the audience really responded to the music and they knew the words. And by they, I mean just all the audiences know all of Rod's words, and playing in front of an audience that can sing louder than you can hear the in-ear monitors. I mean, when we played Wembley, it was 101,000 people, and the audience was so loud we couldn't hear ourselves because the English and the Scottish, they're so enthusiastic and they know every word. So they're singing along with you and they're in time and they're in pitch. And it's like, where is my voice in there? You know?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it was, to this day, that is my favorite show.
Well, I've
And
done
I
some
got to,
big. Yeah. Well, of course. How
yeah,
can you compare anything to over 4 million people present? Um,
yeah,
I mean, we're really well known in the UK, and we're not Rod Stewart's level, obviously, not yet. Um, although they are great fans. There's nothing like Latin people. Um, the way they go crazy in Spain and Italy, I understand what you're talking about. We haven't toured
yeah,
South America yet. I'm sure we will next year. I can't
yeah.
wait to
Yeah.
see how that is. I mean, we're on the radio down there. We have a ton of fans in Brazil and Argentina and Chile and Paraguay and Uruguay and primarily Peru. In fact,
Wow.
on internet radio, the number one city uh, of people listening to us is Lima, Peru, and actually the number one country listening to us is Indonesia, followed closely by India and Pakistan. It's very funny that
What?
a lot of the countries that we tour are not even in the top 10 of the
That's
countries
crazy.
that are listening to us the most on commercial and internet radio. Of course, internet
Yeah.
radio, especially Reverb Nation, which is tied to Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest internet radio station worldwide, and we've picked
Wow.
up a lot of international fans from there. But God,
You know
I
where
think
you'd do
I've
really
never
good too
played
is
them.
Mexico City.
Yeah, well, we're really well known in Mexico, and in fact, when we toured with Slash, the last show, Slash and Miles Kennedy, the last show of the tour was here in Las Vegas, where I currently live. I moved here in January of last year, and we played the House of Blues at Mandalay Bay. There were like 30 of our fans from Mexico City that just all decided to go to Las Vegas and see the show. So, uh, and I love Mexico. The only thrill, you know, Mick Jagger is still touring, and it's not because he needs the money. There's that thrill on stage that it's almost impossible to replicate. I'm sure you will agree. But the closest thing I found is jet skiing. So, yeah, when I get a
Oh,
chance to go
yeah.
to Mexico, go go down there where there's the ocean, and I do a lot of jet skiing and stuff of that nature. So you're living in
That
Mont.
freedom and that feeling of flying. I think
It's
the
it's an
feeling of flying through the air.
adrenaline rush, and if you screw up, you just end up falling into water, unlike a motorcycle where you fall on concrete. But um, I've never crashed on it, and I'm a jet ski friggin' Jedi master. I wish I had some video to show you. It would blow your
Man,
mind that a guy my age is doing what I'm. Forget what I'm doing with rock and roll because I started so late. But you know, on a jet ski is really something. So, are you're in Montana now, right? Is that where you are?
yeah, Missoula. Yeah,
So you're living in Missoula, Montana.
yeah.
What a beautiful state Montana is. I love it
It's
there.
it's
Okay, and
breathtaking.
so
Yeah.
you have a new project. Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
We're going to
It's
be
water dogs.
segmenting over to that project shortly.
So my partner here, Nina Shyne, she's over there in the dark. It's not dark.
You can bring her on.
That's my Nina right there.
Hey, nice to meet you, Nina. I've seen your picture so many times on social media. I kissed you. And so, would you tell us a little bit about this project you have going with Nina?
Yeah, it's huh? Well, FL Studios is the main thing. I mean, I've just finished producing my second big record, and I have a couple smaller projects that I've just completed. So, like last night was the final tweak and master and mix of this record for Basis Covered. And I did Chris Pumphrey, and I did Ashley Rains, and several other projects, a couple movie
You
soundtrack
know, it's
things I
about
was
time you
doing.
started producing music, man. You Jesus, you know, I mean,
I
you're a lifer, so
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're
I don't
extremely
have much
skilled at
choice.
it. So you've been producing records recently. You guys have a studio there.
Yeah, F Hole Studios. And people say, F Hole? What do you mean? And it's like, you know, on my instruments, they all have F holes.
You know, it looks
What are
like
you
a studio
thinking?
to me, man. Sure
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like a
I mean,
studio to
if I
me.
turn this camera around, there's a pedal steel and a keyboard right in front of me. There's more instruments, violin, viola, cello over there. um, Vocal booth, drum kit, fully mic'd up, everything. I just hit record and we can just start playing.
Well, I wanted to
Voice,
tell everybody because I got off the subject, but
yeah.
if you go to YouTube and search the album "Witch's Brew" by Venrez, there's two songs in particular. One is called "Miles to Go," and
Oh,
Don's
yeah.
playing dobro on that,
All right.
which
Yeah.
makes the whole song. And then there's another song called
Mm.
"Blind," where Melvin Brandon Jr. is doing a stand-up bow bass, and uh, and Don's playing violin. And I got to tell you, those two tracks with what Don did on them are just, even though I was green and it was my first record, man, those tracks are really amazing, man. And I want to thank you for being a part of all of that. So, I
Man, what
mean,
an honor.
yeah, yeah, ditto, bro, ditto. You know, I've never played to more than 80,000 people, and it was not terrifying. But you're right. You know, it's easier when you have a bigger crowd.
Yeah.
And today is very different because everybody's got a high quality, you know, cell phone with a camera and a video. So I don't know if people really understand it. We have to be perfect every single time
Man,
because if you
yeah.
make one mistake, that's what they're going to upload to YouTube. So you just got to be really careful about everything. And people taking pictures of themselves with us, you know, at the merch station where we're selling merchandise after the gig and photoshopping. I had to make my page to where no one can post on it. They can only
Oh,
comment because people
see?
were people were photoshopping pictures with me and turning them into things that were not appropriate. Well,
Oh,
I was
man.
married at that time, you know, so having some girl take a picture with you at the merch booth after you sign a CD for them that they buy, and then having them Photoshop it to where it looks like you're making out with them and popping it on your Facebook wall is not really a good thing.
Uh,
But that I've had some crazy stuff happen on tour, and
It's rock and roll. Crazy
yeah.
stuff happens. It's just ripe for crazy stuff. And
Well, craziness
But
that's my favorite
interact
part of it.
with the fans. That would happen on club tours, but when we're doing arenas and big amphitheaters, they can't really get near us. But I had a girl slip backstage in Berlin who was a stalker I had blocked 2 years
Sweet.
prior. And I'm coming off the stage, coming down the stairs after our set. All you want to do is get to your dressing room and just cool off. And I got like 2 steps down a 5-step stairwell, and this chick came out of nowhere at full speed, just dove on me, took me to the ground. She'd come from Poland for the show, and why you blocked me? This has got to, and I didn't know what was going on, but after a few seconds, I
Oh, was
figured
it
it out.
Katya?
It was Katya
Oh, does she
from,
have hair like this? I know her.
yeah, do you really? Aha.
I may, yeah.
And she
I gotta
she
tell you.
tackled me, and at the famous machine shop in Flint, Michigan. I had another very unfortunate incident heading to merch after our set. So I really don't go there anymore. I just, they can do a meet and greet, and we do that after sound check, and excuse me, my camera went out of focus. Got to get in the right spot. Or they can just bring it to the bus. But musically, other than producing, do you have a new project with Nina where you're actually doing gigs? What's going on? Fill us in on that.
Well, we haven't been gigging that much because through the summer we work in film. I do sound and she does makeup and special effects makeup, bullet holes, severed arms, that kind of thing.
Like,
Severed heads.
Yeah.
If you look around the studio, there's like heads and there's an arm and there's a monster. There's more than one monster and there's bloody fingers and we got a little lab over here where we she makes prosthetics and we make sometimes blood rugs and just
Yeah, I know all about
crazy.
that. Actually, my oldest daughter, Taylor, I think you
Yeah,
might know yeah, you know her.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I put her through Mud, in Glendale, which is
oh
the
yeah.
top school for that. And she's worked with everybody from every major actor you can think of to Moby. I mean,
Right.
she's got a heck
Oh,
of a
cool.
reel. Yeah, so they
Oh,
they have special effects and then just regular makeup. She did both. Not everybody
Yeah.
goes through the special effects thing. So, I'm quite familiar with it. And special effects makeup is really truly an art, and I have no doubt you're great at that, Nina. So, is
thank you.
Nina a musician too, or she just does that?
I sing.
She can sing.
Yep, I
Yeah,
sing with Don, and I also manage the band, and we
and
had
managed me.
and I managed him in every way.
And
um,
and
yeah,
and you found a way to do that, huh?
I was so far so good. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if I need more. I might need a committee.
You do need an assistant.
I know.
Well, I'm glad that's all
Um,
working out for you guys, because Don's a lot to
yeah,
manage, just for sure.
I can handle it.
Got a lot to give.
I've
Yeah,
never
it's
met
been
a
so.
woman. I've never met a woman who could until now. So, congratulations to you for that.
She's the
Thank
winner.
you. Um,
So,
no, it's
did
been
you
great.
set everything up with the
I did.
camera to play a
I
song
did.
for us?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Are you
Now,
guys
Are you
ready?
are you
You guys ready to?
yeah.
are you saying we should play a song? Is that what he's saying?
I think
You
that's what
think
he's
that's
saying.
what she's saying?
We could do
Okay.
it
I'm
now.
well. I think if you're in the mood, why
Let's
don't
do
you
it.
play
I
us a
think so.
song with
Okay. We've got
grab
ourselves
a
situated.
guitar, have Nina sing.
For,
Yeah,
yeah.
let everybody get to
Yeah.
really experience.
What do you want
I've
to do?
never heard Nina sing before, but I know you can play those instruments like a god. Because I've been in the
Yeah.
studio with you, and I've been on
Hummingbird? You want
stage
me to?
several times with you.
What do you
Oh, you did bang bang.
Yeah.
Uh,
You want to do hummingbird?
no, we do
No.
Did you grab a 6-string or a
Hang on a
12-string?
second. Yeah.
6-string.
You got a
Um,
6-string there?
She's gonna try to talk me into a song I'm not interested in doing right now.
I thought we were doing C to C and express.
Well, should we do a couple songs? Could we do 2 songs?
Yes, you can.
we weren't gonna do that one. We were gonna do Hummingbird and that and Big Mistake. See, this is the managing. Here we go.
So we got headphones on Nina, and she can hear me and everything.
Rolling up the freeway, waiting for your rain. Trying to find a new way to explain it all again. Baby, can't you see what you mean to me? Rolling up the freeway, waiting for your rain. Rolling up the freeway. Waiting on a new day so we can start all over again. Nothing left for me to say, waiting for you to take it all. Baby, can't you see what you mean to me? Waiting on a new day so we can start all over again. Waiting on a new day. Yeah. For the answers that are worst, the best of friends. Holding on like dancers, just on each other. We depend. Baby, can't you see what you mean to me? Holding on like dancers, just on each other. We depend. Holding on like dancers, our best is the better.
Nice.
We have a couple of clips in there that people can take and show how we messed up.
Yes.
We can post that.
No, I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
It's been a while since we played. We've been doing so much other stuff with the studio work and everything. And a couple of days ago, we said, wait a minute, what about your music? Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working on the one record we worked on for over a year.
Yeah.
The other one, like 3 months. Full on. I did orchestration. I was
He
conducting.
conducts.
I conduct now because you have to. You kind of have to in the studio. You know, when you've
Yeah.
got string players or a bass player,
Mhm.
and you really want them to come in and emote in the places you want them to
Right.
emote, and they don't know the songs.
Yeah.
I've taken up conducting. I actually bought one of those. But
You know, I don't think I ever heard you sing until today, bro.
Really,
Yeah.
You?
me.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I think it was just the situations when
Yeah, I don't
when
think
we were
I've ever
jamming
really-
together and such, where you were just playing instruments. So I've never heard you
Right.
sing until today. Not bad, brother. Not bad. Harmonies are great with Nina. I'm digging it. So
Right?
you guys are gonna
She's
play.
amazing.
You gonna play another song?
Yeah, she didn't even really know she could sing. I was just she was sitting there.
I was a
and I'm-
legend in my own car,
Yeah.
and I did, but I
Um,
just started singing with him.
yeah, she was sitting over there on the couch. I was working on a song, and I heard her singing a little bit, and I said, "Why don't you sing a harmony?" And she was like, "How do I do that?" And we kind of figured it out. And then all of a sudden, I was like, "Wait a minute, this girl can really sing." So
Well,
then
that's what
once I
happened
think
with
we're
me.
Good
You
together.
know,
Yeah.
What
I
happened
was
to you?
doing a karaoke set at my house, and Lance Berg came walking in to get a cordless drill. Tommy, who was living with me, I borrowed his drill,
The old cordless drill.
and
uh,
I'm
device.
halfway through my set, and I felt somebody behind me, and I looked, and it was him. He had his jaw dropped, and he's like, "I didn't know you could sing like that, and I've known you for 20 years. We're going to the studio." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I'm too old for this shit."
Wow.
I think I was like 54 at the time, and the next thing I knew, at 55, I was on tour. Now I'm on my second record deal, my sixth album, and
Yep.
Man.
you
There
know,
you go.
I have
Thank goodness
two
for that
top
drill.
two top 20 hits off the last record, and it looks like I might have a couple more off the new one. So it's funny what
I
God
watched you.
plans, Nina. You know, really funny.
That's right.
But
No, for
that's
real.
how it
watched you
happened
turn
with me.
yourself into a rock star.
You are
Yeah.
a rock
Yeah,
star.
I watched you turn yourself into a rock
Well,
star.
you
and
could
it
call
was
me a
like
rock star, but I can't say
transformation
that.
of, you know,
Spoken
Well,
for
we're going
yourself.
stronger than we ever have, you know, on this new lineup
sounds like
I
it.
have.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I
Yeah.
put a new lineup together about 4.5 years ago. It's just off the charts, you know, of course.
So proud of you.
Got myself,
Off the charts.
you know, a killer, good-looking drummer and bass player. Extraordinary. I mean,
Most important.
my drummer at 25, I think he's 29 now.
Yeah. Yeah.
At
our
tw-
drummer
at
is
25
my
was
friend's-
He was as good as Dave Grohl, Victor Singer. And then on bass, Gabe Maska, he's a bass guitarist.
Mhm.
He's as good as anybody, including Flea. So, I mean,
Right.
Careful.
I have an amazing rhythm section. And we had problems, you know, with the rhythm section with this band for years, but that finally got solved. So what's the name of this next song you're going to play?
Oh yeah, that last one was actually called "Like Dancers," and
You know.
oh, I'm gonna do "C to C," I think.
Yeah. Do you want to do it like Missoula or do you want
Oh yeah, so this film, this song, we were working on a film, Cuisine de l'Apocalypse. It's a post-apocalyptic cooking show.
or it's a cooking show. It's a post-apocalyptic comedy about a guy who wants to have a cooking show after the apocalypse, and it's absolutely great.
Kevin
It's got
Sorbo
heart,
plays
it's really
Hercules in
great.
it. Yeah, he comes and saves the town, and
Well, I want to
It's
come there
fun.
and visit you,
It's
man. I want
hilarious.
to.
Completely
I want to
right.
come.
But
I want to
this-
come visit and jam with you in that studio.
Come on.
But
This song though was
but-
an adaptation of one of Don's songs that we adjusted the lyrics to make it about New Missoula, which is after the apocalypse. Old Missoula gets destroyed, so a few of the residents of Missoula make New Missoula, and so we changed the lyrics for the soundtrack for this movie.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
so
Well,
this
you
song-
know, I do film. I don't know if Nina knows that, but
Oh, I think I may have shown her.
Oh yeah.
you know, film production's
cool.
been my main gig since 2003, and I have you know, my own executive film production company, and
Right.
Well, we do
you know,
film
the
and
feature film thing is kind of.
music, feature films.
With the pandemic and the actor and
Submit a-
writer strikes
submit
kind
a
of slowed
song
it
or
down,
two,
but
well, is it-
we do, you know, I'm doing a lot of documentary film now as
Yeah.
well. I'm going to come visit you, and maybe we should just go fly fishing on a river and get you out there on a float.
Oh man,
Oh yeah.
I was offered lessons and I cannot wait to go do it. It looks like
Well, it's totally different doing it from a shore. But what you do is you get a guide and you get a float boat, and as you're floating down the river, right, you just cast out a bit. It's a lot easier than the whole thingamajigamy-beagy. I took my bass player fishing for the first time. We went to Shasta last October,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
and he had never been fishing before. And I mean, that guy was just hooking up with every fucking cast. I just put my pole down and watched him for the whole day. It was unbelievable. So if he can do it, you can do it. All right.
Oh
So
yeah.
tell us the name of the song again and rip away.
Okay. This one is New Missoula.
Yeah.
It's actually C to C.
C to C. It's the original name of it.
Yeah, C to C.
C.
Got you, baby.
But
Right.
driving down the road, slowing, driving down to line. We found Ellen Moore and a couple of hot like Joe would do me fine. Rolling and hate to see. First I'm heading east along the Texas plain, trying to find some peace in the pain of the desert. Rolling sea to sea. As I race an Amtrak train, picking a fence and a tree line, running from the city lights to the little white star in the big black sky. Rolling sea to sea. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Is he still
Oh,
there?
Steve went away.
Well done, well done, well done, well done. Well, thank you guys.
Oh, what a
That was
pleasure.
that
What
was
an
really
honor. Thank you so much for inviting us.
no. I'd love to have you, and I think we should definitely do the show again sometime down the road. And
Yeah.
For sure.
we need to work on when we do shows where I have musicians like yourself on who are playing. You know, um, I've got to get my producer and engineer Jason Hebert, Como Sans on Kick.com, to figure out how we can get a better quality of sound. Maybe next time plug in an SM7 or something like that.
That's exactly what I've got.
Yeah, it
I've
is
got an
that.
SM7 going through a Neve preamp, going through a Tektronix compressor and a Pultec EQ.
Okay. Well, that was
Uh,
great. I really, really enjoyed that. Well, what guitar was that you were just playing?
oh, that's a Republic. It's one I found in Austin, Texas. Actually, at a music store attached to a venue that I was playing, and I saw it on the wall, and I had to have it.
Beautiful guitar. I saw it when you grabbed it, and
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah. I kind of miss those old days. Like, yeah, I think we did a show at the Key Club that was off the charts, and I think we had Lance on keyboards,
Yeah, I was
and
playing lap
you were
steel
playing lap steel.
and
But the
fiddle.
dobro you did on Miles to Go, which is off the Witch's Brew album, is off the charts, and the violin on
Yeah,
Blind is just crazy. And you know, Melvin, a lot of bass players don't play stand-up bass; they just play electric bass. But Melvin,
yeah.
that you know, the song starts and he's playing that bow bass, and you have that sound going through it. You might want to go back to Witch's Brew and listen to Blind and Miles to Go
I
to hear
will.
what you did back then, brother.
I will, because we don't listen to our old stuff most of the time. Working on other records. I mean, we're gonna start working on a new record. I've got I don't know, 300-400 songs to choose
Yeah, I bet
from,
you do. Well,
and
you got your own studios, so you can do what you want at will, just like I can. Because
yeah,
behind
and
my
every day
monitor is a whole recording studio, and I've got my SM7 right here. I,
that's the mic.
Hey, I'm
yeah,
gonna
I
get
mean
back to
Michael
talking. I'm
Jackson
gonna go
sang Thriller
do
on it.
some more
Yeah,
managing.
yeah. You know,
Yeah,
Bye.
you can go in a studio and sing in a $15,000 Neumann, but that Shure SM7 is a tremendous uh, microphone. You know, it really
Michael
is.
Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson sang
Yeah,
Thriller on ASM7.
yeah,
A lot of big
yeah.
stars have used the SM7.
And it's a
And
trooper too. I mean, it's the most reliable. It's got the richest range. You know.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, I think my last four records were all sung on an SM7. Um,
You should hear a violin on it. That's my violin mic. It is so good in the studio.
yeah,
I've got tube
I'd love
mics.
to
I've
hear
got
that.
Sennheisers, and I've got all the Slate stuff, and yeah, they're great. But the violin on the SM7 is magical.
Yeah, well, it's a great
Yeah,
recording mic.
yeah,
Absolutely,
you can totally trust it.
Don and Nina, thank you so much for being on the show today. It's great to see you. I think
Same here.
I'm going to take a trip out there to come check out your studio and do a little fly fishing while I'm there. You're welcome to join me, or I'll go
Hell
do
yes.
it by myself.
What
When
is it? A
things
6 hour
warm,
drive from Vegas?
when things warm up, I'll just fly somewhere and rent a car and drive in. What's the nearest
Yeah,
airport to Missoula? You probably got one there.
like 10 minutes up the street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fly to Missoula from Las Vegas is probably no big deal. You know.
yeah,
So we'll
quick and easy.
plan that when things warm up a little bit. It's probably a little chilly out
Nice.
there right now.
Um, 20 something. It's warmed up a lot. It's 26 degrees or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Montana in February. It'll start to
20
warm up a
below.
lot as we get into the spring.
Yeah.
Um, I'm in Las Vegas and it hits about 28, but that's like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. Actually, this February's been very, very mild. Although, thanks again for being on the show, my brother. We'll talk
Thank
soon.
you.
God bless
Yeah.
you guys and keep on rocking, motherfucker. Never
You
stop.
got it. You too. You too.
Hey, I got a
Yeah.
suggestion. I've
Yeah.
only seen you in a cowboy hat.
Oh,
This
I
the
always wear cowboy hats.
Yeah, I know. So do what I do. I'm using my wireless in-ears that I use on stage.
Yeah.
And that way they're inside as opposed to having cans. But if you just take your in-ear monitors and pop those in, then you can wear a cowboy hat. You don't have cans over your head, and you're
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
little
Yeah. Yeah. That's
suggestion
why I didn't.
because that's
Yeah.
what I'm
I
doing
almost.
right now.
I've got great in ears, and I was going to use them, and it was just there's been so much to do.
Right.
It's one of the other things that I just
Well,
didn't get
next
to.
time use the
Next
in-ears and
time.
wear a
Yeah.
cowboy hat, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I always
yeah.
do. I've got a yeah. I always wear cowboy hats. So yeah.
Okay, Don. Talk soon, brother. Thank you
Thanks,
so
man.
much.
Take care.
God
All
bless
right.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed having the great Don Teschner on there. I think we're going to need to make sure when we have musicians on the show and they're playing live music and singing that we get a better sound for you guys to hear. But Don is just an incredible musician. And if you really want to know how good he is, go to YouTube and search Witch's Brew by Venrez and listen to the song Blind. That's Don on violin. And listen to the song Miles to Go. And that's Don on dobro. And you can really hear what a fabulous musician that he is. The next show will be this Friday. We'll be going live at 12:45, and at 1 o'clock we will have Mandolin Reese, who's in Austin, Texas right now, better known as the Street Angel. That's going to be an extremely interesting show. Mandolin is literally, if God put human beings on earth that are earth angels, she would be one of them. So we're going to have that show Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern time. That would be 9 p.m. in the UK and 10 o'clock at night in mainland Europe. Anymore, without any further ado, I'm going to sign off and say goodbye to all you wonderful, beautiful people out there. And as I always say, stay safe and keep on rocking. Bye, everyone. Sharpen all the knives, reality to give lays within your bed, safe, warm and cozy, hidden in your head. Can't use me in your schemes, repeating all these things as different things. Sip the cup, tears of blood, angels watch from high above. Orders from the right, the left begins to fight. Serpents form in line behind the sound of swine. Clash of metal rings, 1,000 voices sing. Wind carries the scent over